Let's discuss how to translate the compliance requirements into security controls in this video. I personally feel that with cloud adoption, it's not that much challenging as such to align the compliance with security controls these days. You actually now get these things out of the box. It is just basically you understanding as a cybersecurity architect and align with what Azure provides to meet specific compliance. Usually, translating compliance requirements into security controls involves a structured approach to ensure that your organization meets regulatory standards while maintaining robust security. You first understand the specific regulations and standards your organization must comply with, such as GDPR, HIPAA, and break down these requirements into specific, actionable items. Mostly identifying the known risk and risk tolerances pave the way for translating the compliance into security control. After you have analyzed the known risk and the related risk tolerances for your organization's cloud transformation journey, set up corporate policy to clearly address those risks. Your corporate policy also defines the necessary step to remediate the risk where possible. In traditional governance and incremental governance, corporate policy creates the working definition of governance. Most IT governance actions seek to implement technology that monitors, enforces, operates, and automates corporate policies. Cloud governance is built on similar concepts. Once you have those corporate policy definitions available, then you can align the design with respective policies. As mentioned, cloud governance is built on similar concept as we just discussed. Cloud governance is the product of an ongoing adoption effort because lasting transformation doesn't happen overnight. If you attempt to deliver complete cloud governance before addressing key corporate policy changes, it seldom produces the desired results. Instead, use an incremental approach. What's different about a cloud adoption framework is the purchasing cycle that enables authentic transformation. Since it does not take large capital to acquire, engineers can begin their experimentation and adoption sooner. In most corporate cultures, eliminating the capital expenses barrier to adoption leads to tighter feedback loops, organic growth, and incremental development. The shift to cloud adoption requires a shift in governance. In many organizations, corporate policy transformation supports improved governance and higher rates of adherence through incremental policy changes and automated enforcement of those changes. As governance is an ongoing process, regularly review your corporate policy with IT staff and stakeholders. You want to ensure that your resources hosted in the cloud maintain compliance with overall corporate goals and requirements. Your understanding of new risk and acceptable tolerance can fuel your review of existing policies. Reviewing your existing policies will help determine the level of governance that's right for your organization. After you have defined cloud policies based on your identified risk, you will need to generate actionable guidance that aligns with these policies for your IT staff and developers to refer to. Drafting a cloud governance design guide allows you to specify specific structural, technological, and process choices based on the policy statements you generated for each of the 5 governance disciplines. A cloud governance design guide should establish the architecture choices and design patterns for each of the core infrastructure components of cloud deployments that best meet your policy requirements. Guide should provide a high-level explanation of the technology, tools, and processes that will support these design decisions. Guide should also provide platform-specific implementation details that your IT and dev teams can use when creating and deploying cloud-based workloads. And guide should also focus on the architecture, tools, and features of your chosen platform when making design decisions and providing guidance. While cloud design guides should take into account some of the technical details associated with each infrastructure component, they are not meant to be extensive technical documents or specifications. Make sure your guides address your corporate policy statements that clearly state design decisions in a format easy for staff to understand and reference. Once you sorted out the corporate policies, you can plan to implement governance MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product in this case. The beauty of Azure platform is that it provides you built-in Azure policies that can be aligned with the corporate policy definition in most of the cases. A set of global Azure policies and RBAC roles will provide a baseline level of governance enforcement. Azure provides several built-in policies and role definitions that you can assign to any management group, subscription, or resource group. Many common governance requirements can be handled using built-in definitions. However, it's likely that you will also need to create custom policy definitions to handle your specific requirements. Azure RBAC would let you define the access requirements. Azure keep adding new policies, and to keep up with the pace of newly released built-in definitions, you can check www.azadvertiser.net. Hope now you know how to translate corporate policies into security controls using Azure Policy and Azure RBAC.